Welcome, and thanks for taking a look at the MyBigCampus Parent Portal. Before we get started, let's talk for a minute about MyBigCampus. MBC, as we call it, is a learning management system for schools. It's a collaborative Web 2.0 tool created by our internet filtering company, Lightspeed. MyBigCampus works in conjunction with our network to allow student access in a safe, protected, collaborative environment. Students can receive and turn in digital assignments, communicate with their peers and teachers, and upload files with virtually unlimited storage. Along with online assignments and file storage, students can have calendar events such as assignments and quizzes, sporting events, or club events sent directly to their iPad or computer. They can collaborate with other teachers or students and participate in class discussions. They can upload or download resources and other important documents from any computer or device that has an internet connection. Students, parents, and teachers can also have instant messages to one another. Pretty cool feature. Approximately 6 million students across the globe are using MyBigCampus and over 80,000 teachers. Those numbers increase each day as more and more K-12 schools and colleges join. So MyBigCampus is definitely a 21st century communication tool. One of the newest updates to MyBigCampus has been the addition of the Parent Portal. This portal allows parents a window into MyBigCampus. In just a second, we're going to take a look at a demo student and give you a brief overview of how the Parent Portal can be used. We'll take a quick look at this first, though. You've got your activity feed here where you can get those announcements and messages that are sent from your groups. Here is personal messages that can be sent from a teacher or from a parent to a teacher or a teacher to a student. Here's where you might find file uploads and online documents. You might be wondering, is my student's information safe on MyBigCampus? Only the custodial parent or the legal guardian can access their child's information. Staff can see student information even if it's not public. So where a student might send a message to another student thinking it's private, as can be done in many of the other social media tools out there on the market today, but in MyBigCampus it is monitored and teachers can access that at any time, especially administrators. They can take a look at what students have been doing. Messages can also be viewed by school staff, school administrators, and MyBigCampus staff. And they have a staff that's working 24/7 to monitor the file uploads and also the messages sent back and forth and all kinds of things happening on there. Should make sure those kids are being safe online and that they're being held accountable. In order to log on to the MyBigCampus Parent Portal, you'll go to parents.mybigcampus.com, and that'll take you to your login screen. And by December 19th, you'll be getting an email and password with that login information to you. With this login information, you're going to be able to see all of your students who use MyBigCampus. So if you have 2 or 3 kids, your one login will allow you to see all of your students, and you'll be able to take a look at a sample account here in a second, and we'll show you what we mean by that. Now, if you do not receive an email by December 19th with your login information, there could be 2 reasons why. One could be that you share an email with your spouse, and therefore your spouse got the email, or we don't have a personal email address on file for you at all. In either case, an account would not be created for you with either of those 2 problems. So if you didn't receive an email, but you would like a Parent Portal account, you need to contact Maureen Davis at mdavis@frcs.org. Again, the activation date for MyBigCampus is set for December 19th. This is in preparation for beginning to use the Parent Portal next semester. We're going to try to have all our coaches and teachers doing communication with you. So whereas you might use RenWeb primarily to view grades and attendance, you're going to use MyBigCampus for all other communication back and forth between the school. Couple resources for you. One, there's a guide to MyBigCampus, and it can be found at parents.mybigcampus.com/guide. And there you can find all sorts of information, kind of what we've been going through in this tutorial, as well as a little bit more detail. You can also find the sample student located at parents.mybigcampus.com/activity. And this is where we're going to go right now. And I'm going to take a second and just click on this link, but you can also go here to do the same tutorial. I just thought it might be helpful to have an explanation of what's happening behind the scenes. When you go there, you're going to get to this page here where you're going to enter the email address that we have on file for you and that we send you, the password that we give you, and then you can click login. If you forget your password, you can have an email sent right here to you, or you could also try the demo, which I already have in the background here, so we're going to take a look at that now. So here's the user interface, and as you can see in the sidebar, there's different activities that you can look at. You've got the activity wall, messages, and so forth on down the list. We'll kind of take a look at each one. On the activity wall, you can see that Dewey Lennon has received an assignment about winter, so it's going to post on his activity wall. Here he's received an assignment in a different class as Mr. Allen assigned some schoolwork. And then if we go on down, Bob Campus, who's kind of the resident friend of all people. It's actually about 6 or 7 people who monitor and give help. So if you need any help, you can contact Bob Campus. But here is a link to the My Big Campus parent portal. You can click here and go on. And then you can also see here's an assignment about Felix Baumgartner, who jumped from space. And there's an assignment his teacher gave him, so he can click here and find some information, and so on. So the activity wall is where you're going to find comments, assignments, updates, anything kind of like message to the student. In this section, this is more of like a private thing, whereas on the activity wall, everyone can view that. The messages section is more private and can be sent. So you can click your inbox and read your messages. You can also click here to write a message and click here if you want to show the message and what the contents of that message was. So here Miss Price is saying something personal. So for instance, I as a teacher might want to go in and say, hey, you did a great job on that assignment today. I think you really did a good job. Or maybe, you need to be a little more focused or something like that. Information that I might not want to go on the activity wall. Then I can click down here and click send. Down in the schoolwork section, this is where I'm going to find all of the assignments that have been posted. I can also filter this. I can say I only want to see the assignments that I need to submit, and so those are things that I haven't turned in yet. So here's something that I'm not sure why this one's in here, but it says it needs submitting. It is due Monday. It is it's called Winter. It's for my electives class called by Miss Lennon, and it's an assignment. And you can see here the difference here. Here's the chapter 12 quiz that is past due. So I can kind of get a nice look at what's due. I can see what's due today over here. Nothing is due for today, but due this week is the winter assignment due December 17th. So I can go back over to maybe missed assignments or to all assignments. So it's kind of a way you can filter. And you can also do a search over here in the upper right hand corner to locate a specific assignment if you have a lot and are having troubles finding it. Now to move on to this section, kids stuff. This particular kid doesn't have anything in his stuff. If we take a look at his brother, Huey Lennon, Huey actually has quite a bit of stuff in his. He must be an older child. But you can see here's all the files that Huey has uploaded into My Big Campus. Again, you have unlimited amount of files that you can load into My Big Campus. The only catch is the files can't be bigger than 95 megabytes. So if you're going to upload a movie, it might want to be, a few minutes long or less depending on the file size and the quality. But the students can upload a file at school and download it back at home, or vice versa. If they're at home and they have something they want to upload they find on the internet, they can access it from any device that connects to the internet. If they're trying to find that file, they can take a look and say, well, I want to find only my photos. So here's some photos, or they could say only websites. So he doesn't have any websites that he's loaded up. So we'll just take a look back at all of his files. The next section here is calendar, and this is where the student can see what events are coming up. And here he can see that on Wednesday there's the parts of schoolwork speech due. There's another schoolwork My Big Campus due on Friday. His assignment on rocks is due on Thursday. So you can kind of get a look at what is due. There's not a lot of color information here except that the blue is for schoolwork, and then this would be for something called assignments, group events, and so on. We can go over here to take a look at Huey's groups. You can see that he has Miss Price, a senior writing project group, an electives class, and Mr. Allen's third period class. So we could take a look at any of these groups, and here you might find a picture. In that case, Mr. Allen loaded a picture of Bob Campus. You could see if the teacher has any announcements here. So we've got lessons for this week, current events this month is on hurricanes, and so on. So you can take a look at all the announcements that teacher wants to send that student. And these announcements are what's going to post on their activity wall. You can see that this person has something about the new iOS app. So this teacher can say, once you do this, you'll be able to look at the app and so forth. So the teacher can put all of this information and have tutorials and everything online for the student to access from home, which is amazing. Sometimes their schoolwork is left at school, and when they get home, they can't even do their homework. You can see over here the resources. There's self-guided training modules, parent guides, and so forth. So the kid can come over here and say, well, I'd like to download a parent guide, for instance. And so the parent can come over here and say, well, there's the parent guide, and I can read it, a parent's guide to My Big Campus, and just access those files that the teacher wants the student to have. The teacher can also have their schoolwork listed here so the student can see access to all of the schoolwork that the teacher has loaded into My Big Campus, as well as the calendar events for this particular class. So it's pretty handy. Over here is the school section. So this is something about the whole school. Our school has a great web designer, DJ Turner, so we don't use this section as much as other schools might, compared to our normal website. But over here you can see some upcoming events. This is also where you would access your different children if you have more than one child attending, so you can kind of just flip back and forth to see what your students are loading up. This section here allows you to look at your account information. You can detail your account information and change that. You can also take a look at your email notifications and say, do you want to receive an email when someone sends you a message? So if a teacher sends you a message, this right here, if it's checked, you'll get an email about that. If you're getting too many emails, you might want to uncheck that. Also, if a teacher comments on your son or daughter's schoolwork, if you check this, you'll get an email about that. So you have the choice to receive those or not by adding those preferences. We are going to assign you a generic password, but if you could go change that, or if you'd like to go change that, you could do that by clicking here. And also this is where you would log out. We'll go back there in a second. Language, you can switch languages here. And this section is if you need help with the parent portal at all, you can ask questions and have generic help files there. So let's go ahead and log out because we're going to actually take a look at this screen. Now we kind of already did this. Again, if you get your information, you just email here, click login, and you'll be in your own son or daughter's page. And again, if you'd like to try the demo, you just click here. But good luck, have fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy communicating in this fun environment that we now have access to at our school. God bless.